The Galaxy XR is here, and we have all that you need to know. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. And just today, Samsung have announced their new Galaxy XR. It's been announced in conjunction, or I guess in partnership alongside Samsung with Google and with Qualcomm. It's the first product that's been built for the Android XR platform and is sort of the culmination of the work done with Project Muhan. And of course, it just had to be Samsung to be the first major Android manufacturer to bring something like this out. Let's take a look first up at what you might be interested in the most, and that's the specs. Because I think in something like this, specs do actually matter. We can talk about the validity of the product and everything in some later videos, a little bit later on. For now, let's just talk about the product itself. I'll chuck a table up of the full spec sheet as I'm sort of talking, but I want to highlight just a few key things. Obviously, with something like this, I think the display is the most important part. And it's got, I'm just going to read it here, a 3552 by 3840, 27 million pixel count micro OLED display covering 95% of the DCI P3 color gamut. It's got some refresh rates, different ones. It's got 60, 72, which the spec sheet says it's the default. And then you can go up to 90 with a service request, whatever that might mean. As far as its field of view goes, it's got 109 degrees field of view horizontally and 100 degrees vertically. The chip it is running on is the Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2 platform. So that is going to be the chip that is going to be powering the whole Android XR experience. It does have a camera. It's got an 18mm f2.0 aperture camera. That's a 6.5 megapixel sensor. This camera supports both 3D photo and video capture, which makes sense when you consider some of the features it's got, which I'll discuss a bit later on. It's got a whole bunch of sensors and microphones and all sorts of other stuff that you would expect a product like this to have. They're all there. As far as the rest of the specs, you can go and check them all out. We're definitely covering this thing on our website. As far as battery goes, Samsung is saying 2 hours of general use from the battery pack that comes with it, and then 2.5 hours of video playback, or up to 2.5 hours. And fortunately, you can use it whilst the battery is being charged too. So you can just plug it in and continue to use it if you're at home. As far as its weight, it's kind of lightweight for something like this. It's 545 grams with the cushion forehead thingy attached to it. And then the separate battery weighs 302 grams. So that will add like a total of about 847 grams. Good maths. Those are specs and numbers, really. And whilst they're good to know, so you can at least know what to expect from a performance standpoint, doesn't really make up what this experience is going to be like. Samsung have, in their press announcement, given us some information regarding what the focus of this is, and the big key driver of this is multimodal AI. And because it's that collaboration between Samsung, Google, and Qualcomm as well, there's quite a bit of Google littered throughout this. And the big one is it supports Gemini right from the start. You can use Gemini in services like Google Maps, where it can actually immerse you in the world you're in, and then Gemini can sort of almost be like your guide to the world around you or the maps that are around you, showcasing to you what is available around you. And you can explore it all in like a 3D map environment too, which is really cool. You can interact with Gemini naturally to help you find YouTube content. And then once you're inside the content, Gemini can sort of help you again break down the content that you're watching and experiencing. And with the cameras on board, you actually can access Circle to Search in pass-through mode. So again, interacting with the world around you and utilizing Google's Circle to Search from their smartphone feature in the XR platform too. One of the other pillars that we noticed is to do with entertainment. I mentioned before about how the camera has sort of 3D depth capturing ability. Well, the device itself actually can turn 2D photos into 3D moments, so you can sort of go back and relive it in a much more immersive way. So any old memories you've got, you can chuck it in here and interact with it in a 3D way instead of just the flat 2D way that it was before. And you can also take advantage of AI gaming through entertainment purposes, where you can actually, with XR specific games, use Gemini to help you sort of guide your way through the game, sort of almost be like a coach for the game that you're playing. Myself personally, as a big football fan, I can imagine this being great for sports because this can give you the ability to view 2 sports matches at once. Just imagine the World Cup next year in 2026, being able to sit on your lounge and consume the 2 games side by side. I'm here for that. There's also a lot of productivity-based stuff that Samsung are sort of, I guess, pitching this in for. And a lot of it's down to the partnerships with big industries where you can use this as like a training platform. I can definitely see that. I remember the old Gear VR, people were starting to utilize that in that way. So I imagine for something more advanced like this, absolutely. So with all that sort of use cases thrown out there, and what I just sort of mentioned, the feeling I sort of got, or I'm getting with this, is we've been here before. The Gear VR existed 10 years ago now. And whilst that was cool for its time, it also had the same limitations. It was a piece of headwear that you had to wear to access that other world. And it was just that extra step that people weren't willing to go to. And the Gear VR was really just trying to solve a problem to a question no one really asked. And I feel like we're at the same point with this now. But with that being said, the hardware is much more advanced now. So the timing could be right to re-enter it. But it's a big risk, especially with S26 coming up. Hopefully something like this can sort of pay off for them. But sometimes you just got to take a gamble, especially in this market. In terms of availability is right now, but only in the US and Korea. Its price at launch is $17.99 as well. Let us know if you plan on getting one. Myself personally, I live in Australia and it's not launching here. We are going to get a hands-on unit, so make sure you hit subscribe so we can sort of bring you that coverage as well. Go check out our website because we'll have more coverage over there. TikTok, social media, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.